Hello everyone, Darkhizer here with another video for my Fallout 4 survival series. This is a quick look at a beginning portion of the game. The new survival updates were released on the Steam beta recently, and I wanted to give you all a first perspective on how that looks, particularly with regards to a new character. Now, I have a brand new character here, and I have taken the liberty of running around, and I have gained sufficient experience that I've gotten myself to level 5, so I have picked up a few perks, and I have done a few things. I've also taken the liberty of running all around Sanctuary Hills and looting everything that can be looted of any merit, and I am still carrying all of those items. So I wanted to remind everyone about the root cellar, because this is the first available bed that you're going to have to sleep on. None of the other beds in Sanctuary are any good for sleeping on. And I wanted to show you the effect of all of the various changes that are going to happen when I switch over to survival mode. I am not in survival mode yet, so I wanted to give you an idea comparing apples to apples. Now, my character, I am level 5. These are my stats. I have a strength of 6. I have picked up the Grognak comic book, and I have picked up the special comic book from Sean's bedroom, and I did apply that point to my strength because I am planning on getting the strong back perk as soon as possible. I've already taken Hacker and Locksmith. Locksmith is what enabled me to get into some of the safes that were scattered around Sanctuary Hills. I took Lone Wanderer for the additional carry weight. I'm going to take Strong Back, which I've never taken on another build before, for the same reason. And I took Sneak because this is going to be a stealth build. But this is my current inventory. I have these are all of the weapons that are available. I haven't put anything down. This is all of the stuff that I've managed to loot so far. So for those of you that have been curious as to what exactly you can get out of Sanctuary Hills, this is a good example. We have 5 10mm pistols, a couple of frag grenades, and these are in the trash can next to the bridge on the way out of town. Set of knuckles, 8 Molotov cocktails, 6 pipe pistols, the security baton, of course, that you get from the vault itself, and I believe there's a second security baton available, and I must have missed that somehow. There is a pipe rifle and a tire iron, and these are available from the ammo bag or the canvas bag that is located at the foot of the statue, just on the other side of the bridge on your way out of town. I do consider that to be, although you can't use it for part of Sanctuary Hills with regards to upgrading your settlement, I do regard that as being part of Sanctuary Hills and part of the introductory part of the game, because all you have to do is run across the bridge, grab the stuff, and then come back. You don't have to fight anyone in order to get any of that stuff. There is more loot, but I took everything that was not either a weapon, something useful to me, or something edible, and I stored it in the workbench. Now, I have a drifter outfit, which I will probably wind up putting on because it does give me a little bit of ballistic resistance, which the Vault suit does not. I'm not going to be encountering any radiation right away, and I'm probably not going to be encountering very many energy weapons either. So I'm going to put on the drifter outfit. I'm going to put on the eyeglasses for the 1 point of perception that I get. I kept the laundered blue dress. There is a suit of clothing that I also picked up, which I set aside because it gives me +2 charisma, which will help me if I can manage to put it on before I start any dialogues with people. And this is the other thing that I wanted to point out. This is all of the aid stuff that you can get. All of these things are available between the vault and the other side of the bridge in town. I killed all of the bloat flies. Actually, I should say that Codsworth killed all of the bloat flies. I killed a couple of them. And I also killed all of the various rad roaches that were available between here and the vault, and I went ahead and I kept all of that. But this is all stuff that can be consumed as food. And as soon as I switch everything over, we're going to hopefully get a better idea of whether any of this actually counts as food or not. I don't think the whiskey's going to count. I probably should have put that down. And that weighs 1 pound. And you can see my current carry weight is 310 because I have a strength of 6 and I have Lone Wanderer. Now, that was an autosave, and that's something else that's going to be disabled when I set this into survival mode. And there we go. Okay, this feature is currently in beta. Once turned on, newly created saved games will not be backward compatible with the current public release of the game. Survival adds additional challenges, including no fast travel, saving only when you sleep, increased lethality for both you and for opponents, I should mention that, sickness, fatigue, and more. See the survival entry in help for details. And this is your last chance to back out of that. And as you can see, the quick save options and the save options are now grayed out. So let's go to the help options, and we're going to look at survival difficulty. Is the struggle of this world merely a pleasant game for you? Do you long for more brutal take on life, a life lived post-apocalypse? If you answered yes and yes, then survival difficulty is for you. Survival upends many of the rules in life in the Commonwealth for maximum challenge. For a full list of changes, see below. To enable survival, press escape, etc., etc. Survival basics, saving. Manual quick saving and most autosaves are disabled. To save your game, you need to find a bed and sleep for at least an hour. Staying healthy. Survival makes it more challenging to keep yourself in top health and high spirits. Food and stim pack heal at a significantly slower rate, and you'll need to pay attention to your overall wellness by staying properly fed, rested, and hydrated. See survival healing changes and survival rest and wellness entries for more details. Lethality. You now deal but also take more damage. You can increase the damage you deal even further with adrenaline. See survival combat and adrenaline entry. Fast travel. Fast travel is disabled. If you wish to be somewhere, you'll have to get there the old-fashioned way. And this is one of the things that I'm sure a lot of Fallout players are going to mod out. It's a tried and true staple of the game that once you get through sweeping the enemy complex, the enemy base clear on the other side of the map or what have you, you then have to steal everything that's not nailed down, and then you will hopefully be able to fast travel to the nearest location where you have a workbench or someplace where you can go and deal with all of the swag. Not so much now. One of the reasons that I'm doing this, and one of the reasons why Strong Back is going to be one of the perks that I take, one of the advantages of Strong Back is the fact that you can fast travel while over encumbered. I'm curious as to see how Bethesda resolves this issue between the two of them. Inventory management. You'll be able to carry far fewer items, including ammunition and stim packs, which now both have weight. And I was not aware that stim packs were going to have weight. Your companions can still help carry the load, but their capacity, it makes me nuts when nobody proofreads this stuff. This is why this is a beta. But their capacity has also been decreased. See survival items and companions. Survival automatically grants you the adrenaline perk, which provides a bonus to your damage output. Unlike other perks, the only way to increase your rank of the adrenaline perk is by getting kills, hostile or otherwise. The higher your adrenaline rank, the higher the damage bonus. Sleeping for any amount of time will cause your adrenaline rank to lower, taking your damage bonus with it. You can check your current adrenaline rank at any time in the perks section of the stat tab on the Pip-Boy. And this is going to be one of those things where you're going to have to decide when you're starting to feel the effects of exhaustion and you have not slept, and thus your stats are beginning to come down and you're beginning to feel ill effects, but your adrenaline is extremely high because you've been running around killing things for the last 12 hours. Is it going to be, how's the offset going to work? Are you going to want to continue killing things because you have this large 50% damage bonus, or are you going to want to stop somewhere and get some sleep and bring your rest of your stats up? Compass. Be sure to keep your eyes peeled, as enemies will no longer appear on your compass. The distance at which locations of interest will appear has been significantly shortened as well. So those little red dots on your compass that tell you that the enemy is nearby, not going to be there. Combat. In survival, both you and your foes are deadlier than ever, so don't expect to survive more than a few hits from most enemies. Good armor, reliable cover, and tactical thinking are critical. Choose your openings wisely to make the most of your own increased damage. And survival mode before this update already gave you a reduced healing rate with stim packs. They no longer return your health almost immediately. So this is going to be even more pronounced now. Rest, wellness, and fatigue. Bed types. The type of bed you're sleeping in determines the length of time you're able to stay asleep. A sleeping bag will save your game and may save your life if you're desperate. A mattress offers strong healing and can clear most of your fatigue. Comfort of a bed allows for full night's rest and all the benefits that come with it, which is, for instance, the well-rested perk. You'll find it difficult to survive without taking proper care of yourself. You must stay hydrated, fed, and rested to remain combat ready. Going for extended periods of time without food, water, or a good night's sleep will begin to adversely affect your health, hurting your special stats, adding to your fatigue, lowering your immunity, and eventually even dealing physical damage. Fatigue. Fatigue mostly comes from being tired. Both hunger and thirst also affect it. Fatigue works like radiation, but affects your action points rather than your hit points. The more fatigue you've built up, the less action points you'll have for actions like sprinting and VATS. The amount of fatigue you've accumulated is displayed in red on your AP bar. Eating uncooked meat, drinking unpurified water, taking damage from disease-ridden foes, and using harmful chems all put your body at increased risk for various ill effects. When you are afflicted with an illness, a message will appear on screen. You can check specifics about your current illnesses by navigating to the status section of your Pip-Boy stat tab and pressing Q to review your active effects. Illnesses include insomnia. You get less sleep than desired. Lethargy. Your AP regenerates much more slowly. Fatigue, you need to sleep more frequently. Parasites, takes more food than normal to satiate your hunger. Weakness, your body can't handle as much damage as normal. And infection, you take damage as the infection spreads. These are the types of illnesses you can get from being bitten by other things out in the wasteland. Doctors can heal your wounds, cure addictions, and banish diseases for a price. You can find a doctor in most major settlements. Doctors are going to be much more important. Antibiotics, which can be crafted at chem stations, purchased from doctors, or found in medical containers, instantly heal the various effects of illness. So you're going to be finding these in medical containers, so you're going to be looking for those for more than just stim packs and Radaway. Herbal remedies, which can be crafted at chem stations, purchased from vendors and doctors, and found in various containers, significantly lower your chance of developing a particular illness. Suppressed immunity. Items that cleanse your body of rads come with the cost of making you tired and temporarily damaging your immunity, leaving you more vulnerable to illnesses than usual. So you can't just run out, eat a bunch of contaminated food to keep your health up, and then take a Radaway in order to cleanse yourself of rads without some sort of side effect or possible negative effect. Healing changes. In survival, the rate at which restorative items like stim packs and food recover your health is significantly reduced. You need to time your healing precisely if you hope to last. Crippled limbs will no longer auto-heal after combat and will remain crippled until healed by a stim pack. Hoard those stim packs, kids. It's going to be important. Companion healing. If your companion goes down during combat, you must heal them before they get back up. This is a big change. If you leave the area without healing them, they will return home to recover. Home may be on the other side of the map. Remember, no fast travel. Survival, hunger, thirst, food, and beverages. Looking at an item's value is a good way to determine how much that item will counter your thirst and hunger. So the better items like a steak, a Brahmin steak, or a Rad Scorpion steak will probably counter your hunger much better than, say, Rad Roaches. Food bonus effect. A food's bonus effect, such as increased carry weight from Rad Stag steak, will only apply if eaten when you are not currently hungry. Make sure to take care of the basics before eating for those bonuses. So if you are hungry and you need to eat food anyway, and you eat a steak or a Rad Stag steak specifically so that you get increased carry weight, then you will not get that bonus. You need to eat something else first so that you are no longer hungry, then eat the steak, and then you get the carry weight bonus. This is going to require quite a bit more thought. You can't just sit there munching on a whole bunch of food at random if you want to be able to get all of the best bonuses. After doing a brief sleeping period and waking up both peckish and thirsty, I wanted to show how this worked. We have the baked bloatfly, which normally restores health and grants you rad resistance, which now, because I'm hungry, does not do either one of those things. grilled rad roach, which normally just provides you with health. Also, while you're hungry, you're not going to be getting any of these benefits. So it behooves me to eat the grilled rad roach. And apparently I'm still peckish. So I'm still hungry. There we go. I am now properly fed. And now I get my health benefits and my other benefits. However, I'm still thirsty. And being thirsty adversely affects your intelligence. So there we go. There's a perfect example of how the whole hunger thirst thing works with regards to your stat changes. Wanted to make sure that I put this in here. Counter effects. Keep in mind, certain items may not give you the results you expect. For example, chems and alcohol dehydrate. Caffeine makes you hungry. Caffeinated. Caffeine gives you a short reprieve from your tiredness, possibly buying you time to finish a fight or find a bed. Items and companions. Weighted ammo. Bullets and shells now all have a small amount of weight, which varies by caliber. Heavier items such as fusion cores, rockets, and mini nukes can really drag you down. This is another tremendous change. Bethesda games up until now, even on the worst difficulty, you could carry 10,000 rounds of ammunition and 200 fusion cores, and you would never notice. Now, not so much. In survival, both you and your companion's carry weight has been significantly reduced. Exceeding your carry weight reduces your endurance and agility stats and periodically damages your legs and your health. Think of your back. As I said, the strong back perk is going to be huge. Carry weight for companions has been decreased. They will no longer get back up if down during combat and will return home if abandoned without being healed, as was mentioned before. Enemy and loot repopulation. Locations you've cleared will now repopulate with new enemies and loot at a significantly slower rate. So farming that same key location over and over again is not going to be an option. Strong back. They covered this. Instead of allowing fast travel with strong back rank 4, you no longer take damage from exceeding your carry weight. So there we go. Now, let's see what we've got to work with. One of the reasons that I wanted to do this, it's 5:43 in the evening. When you first come out of the vault with a brand new character, it's relatively early in the morning. I've been futzing around all day getting to level 5 in normal difficulty or easy difficulty, and I wanted to see what the effects were after getting a couple of perks. But now, okay, we have our status tab. Now, I don't have any ill effects going on. I was able to carry 310 pounds earlier, and now I'm only carrying 210 pounds, or I'm only able to max out at 210 pounds. That is a significant change. That's huge. All of the information on all of the aid stuff. However, Nuka Cherry, for instance, caffeinates. Baked Bloatfly still gives you rad resistance and so on and so forth. Stimpaks weigh 0.1. So, yeah, carrying 400 Stimpaks is now no longer going to be an option. And here's the one we're all really interested about. Ammo. 38 rounds are really dinky. 10mm rounds somewhat chunkier. Basically, the more damage it does, the more it weighs. And these are very, very small amounts of weight. 10mm rounds, for instance, I'm carrying 161, and these weigh 0.025 apiece. So I'm not carrying that much 10mm ammunition, weight-wise, but it's going to add up. Fusion cells actually have weight. Shotgun shells weigh 1/10 of a pound. So if you're carrying 100 shotgun shells or 50 shotgun shells, 50 shotgun shells is 5 pounds of carry weight. Don't forget, your capacity has been reduced. So this is going to be pretty huge. The other reason I wanted to do this video is I wanted to remind people, until you actually build a bed in Sanctuary Hills, this is the only mattress that you can sleep on. Can't sleep more than 5 hours on a dirty mattress. Okay, they should probably put that in when you are attempting to sleep on the mattress. So I've slept 5 hours. I feel rested, but now I have a water icon in the lower right-hand corner, and as you can see, some of my AP bar is missing. So under our status, we have the fact that we're tired. Or, I'm sorry, the fact that we're thirsty. So we go to our aid because we actually have some purified water. Go ahead, drink that. We're now properly hydrated. But again, we only were able to sleep for 5 hours. So now it's 11 o'clock at night. Now the game is saved because I was able to sleep, but I wanted you to see how this works. I wanted you to get an idea. Oh, and now there's a radiation storm outside. Great. Good timing. So the first thing I'm going to do is run back downstairs. Now again, I can't just wait out the storm for a few minutes, or I could go ahead and sleep for another hour. And I think I will do that. And again, so now the game is saved, and all of our action points are back, and all of our markers are gone, and so on and so forth. But I wanted to give you an idea of how this worked. And these are all of the things that you're going to have to pay attention to. A lot of the things that we used to take for granted, even on survival mode, we're no longer going to be able to take anything for granted anymore. We're going to have to manage our food. We're going to have to manage our rest. We're going to have to manage hydration, carry weight, everything. It's going to be a lot more challenging. I hope that this was very informative for all of you. It was a real eye-opener for me. I did not know that stim packs were going to have a weight, and so that has changed things. And I just realized that I'm standing here thinking that I could go ahead and save the character in the middle of nowhere, and I can't because I don't have a bed. Again, it's going to require a shift in your thought process. And if you like playing survival, well, you might as well start the thought process change now, because the sooner you get your brain wrapped around the idea that you're not going to be able to run for a week without food or water or whatever, that's going to be huge. Something else that people should remember is a lot of the endurance perks. For instance, solar powered. Solar powered is going to be big because at the highest level, you are able to heal damage as well as reduce radiation while you're standing out in the sunlight. I believe at the highest level you also regenerate a small amount of health, and so it's going to be something, that perk is going to be worth a lot more. I like to see how they are going to deal with the lead belly perk, which lets you take a reduced amount of radiation for consuming food, up until now considered one of the most useless perks in the game, because you could go ahead and eat a pile of food, accumulate a bunch of rads, and then just go ahead and take a rat away, and then it's not a problem. Now, not so much. So we're all of us that play survival are going to have to reshuffle our thinking, and it's going to be different. I have provided links below to my other Fallout 4 videos, and I heartily recommend you to follow me on my journey. I have recently started a new character and a new Fallout 4 playthrough on survival with an eye towards building a character that can take advantage of all of the big effects and the big changes in Automatron. And since I'm already in survival mode in that game, I'm going to be taking advantage of all of the changes to survival mode as well. I hope that you'll join me, and as always, likes are appreciated and subscriptions doubly so. This is Darkeizer signing off. Have a good night.